near you.
Hello, and welcome to the No Coincidences podcast. My name is Christina Allwitty, and I'm so excited to see our family today. How are you doing, Grizzly?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you.
Well, I thank you for joining me.
Yes, absolutely.
And look at our beautiful family that's starting to pop in here. Little Twisted, Lorna, Rebecca, Lori. How are y'all doing? Oh, I see we got Leonard in here as well. I love seeing all of you popping in here to join us for the afternoon. I hope that y'all are prepared for this very exciting experience that we have today for you. I have a very special guest, and I think that everybody might know who she is. She's been in a lot of movies and TV shows. She makes her own music. So with that, let's go ahead and bring Lady Liane Curtis up here on the screen with us. How are you doing, beautiful?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Oh my goodness, we stay so busy around here, but I love it because it keeps me from going and doing anything I'm not supposed to. You know what I mean?
Yes, you do. You know, staying creative is what keeps me out of trouble. Then sometimes I don't feel like it. I get really stubborn and just like freeze a little bit and just sort of tend to the house and tend to myself and eat well and try to get sleep. And
right. You know, I think those of us who are on creative levels like that and on spirituality levels, as a lot of the people that I bring onto the show are, we tend to have to make sure that we create that own structure within ourselves and keep that creativity. If we don't, then we get lost within ourselves, right? And
right, literally,
I know I do that.
Music, I'm baking cookies or doing something, trying a new recipe, like creating something out of nothing, always creating something out of nothing obsessively. And it doesn't really matter. Like, I mean, we're multidimensional creatures. So it makes sense that if you're creating, you're just creating no matter what you're doing. So it's really
exactly.
And I'm sure in my dreams, I create things as well, you know?
Right. I see that Lorna said, Universe requested you, Liane. She's so excited to have you here.
Are you serious? Hi, Lorna. Hi, Rebecca. You said hi. I don't have my YouTube stream, so I'm just seeing the comments a little bit, and I'm not wearing my glasses right now.
Oh, no, it's okay. You know what? I'll make sure I get them read to you. Everybody is just saying hello and how excited they are to see you right now. They're greeting each other. Our family is so friendly here at the Outlaw family. I love them. I couldn't have a better family.
That's beautiful.
So I wanted to just talk a little bit about where you started and, you know, kind of go on the adventure of how you got to where you are now. So I know when I was doing my research on you, I saw that you actually had your first acting gig at 4 years old on Sesame Street. Do you remember doing that, or were you too young?
I do. I have memories. And it was like, I feel like if you want to go vague, it was more frustrating than it was fun for me, I think.
I bet, because you had people probably sitting there trying to direct you and get you to do exactly what they wanted. And you're like, I'm 4, let me play. Well, I have a 4-year-old. I already know.
It was, but see, so like it's a combination of that. Plus by the time I was 3, I was speaking French and English fluently.
Oh,
wow. And my parents kind of took advantage of that and, you know, thought how precocious and cute. So, you know, you always want to perform for your parents. So you're just kind of not always on exactly, but, you know, I notice when I watch other 4-year-olds that are around, like when I have the privilege of being around them and observing sort of where they are in their unfolding as a human being, you know, and then I try to go back and think, wow, you know, and that is part of like where I am now is really taking a look at all of the stuff and letting it go so that I can feel a little more light and a little higher vibes, you know, even though I do take laugh at everything and keep the vibe super high anyway, but
Yeah.
there's really no limit, there's no ceiling. So
I think that a lot of us, when we start going on our spiritual journey, we realize that we have to go back to those original memories and those original roots, right? And that is where we really we find what our not only our traumas, but we find what our triggers were, and we find the things that are our stuck points, and we have to learn how to get past those stuck points and past those triggers and those traumas. And once you're elevating yourself past those points, that's when you start having that great awakening that I like to talk about so much on so many of my shows. And I personally, I'm what I call a teacher of the teachers, and I help people a lot of times through my TikTok lives or through doing shows on here. And I actually do personal one-on-ones with people to help them kind of go through what you're talking about right now, where you have to face those things and you have to learn how to overcome them. And once you do that, then you really start on your spiritual journey.
Right. And it happens in different levels too. Like, you can get the information and understand it intellectually, but still not quite get it like emotionally. But really, like when the EQ and the IQ meld and you can accept that like science and spirituality really have never not been together, like, and
Right.
that one without the, like, you can be so spiritual that you ignore 3D, and you can be so materialist and intellectual that you ignore what you can't see, but they're all there whether you like it or not. That's your ego, so just please, you sit down. And it's different levels of that, like, and then for me, watching and observing myself in different situations neutrally, and then not going back to the memory to relive the trauma, but to look at the trauma, let it go, and be neutral and give yourself a break at that age so that you don't have to keep reliving the same situation over and over and replacing the people and the places. But it's ultimately the same feeling at the end of the whole thing. And then, oh, it happened again, and I feel this way again. It's, at a certain point, it's definitely, even if it's subconscious, self-created. And then I'll go with Joe Dispenza. Once you start feeling those feelings all over and over and over, your body gets addicted to those chemicals. So it's double hard to break the habit of being yourself, I guess, to be using one of his titles. But really, I mean, that's the hero's journey. You're your own hero. It all happens on the inside. And then you can see every individual having their personal great awakening is what has the collective awaken greatly.
Yes. And, I know these beautiful people that follow me on here so much, they already know the lecture of the Great Awakening. It started in 2017, right? And we're actually on the end of the Great Awakening. 2024 is supposed to be the greatest year for awakening. And I feel like having people like myself or like you, or I mean, there's so many other people out here that they speak on these things, they educate people on these things. And it takes us to help people realize what's coming, because honestly, at the end of this, it's spiritual warfare, right? We're already going through the spiritual warfare. It's just going to be something on a much grander scale.
Well, yeah, and people don't like those words. It threatens them, it scares them, and then it also makes them feel like, I don't know, they weaponize that vocabulary back at people who are speaking these things out loud, and right before we started, you said that you noticed on Insta that I was posting all these things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, part of it, I mean, I don't do it with the vibration of frustration in those moments. Like, I love Jack Kornfield, and I love a lot of, or Cornfield, I'm not sure, right now. But it's just, it's speaking the truth over and over, because alongside of what we've learned exists this also. And A measure of intellect isn't following the science because that's what science says. A measure of intellect and intelligence is being able to open one's mind and accept different information without saying, well, without empirical, then it's, pseudo. Not really.
Right.
Not really. Like the day they created a monotheistic organization, which made people bow down to one something outside you that judged you for every thought you had. No, that's neutral. Like removing the information that what is judging you isn't judging you. It loves you so much it gives you whatever you want, whether you're a rapist, a child murderer, Leonardo da Vinci. Thought it's all in the quantum everything. And when they deny the existence or call it pseudoscience, and they get their ego panties all in a bunch and refuse the different information, because then that maybe makes them wrong. And oh boy, can't have that, because then I feel stupid. And if I feel stupid, then no one will believe anything I say tomorrow. And like they take themselves on this whole mental spiral trip, and then they get banned on YouTube. It's just so dumb.
I agree.
And I get tired. And so when I make my music and I write my lyrics, I feel like I'm writing the truth, and I'm trying to make it 3-minute bites that are at least entertaining sonically, melodically, lyrically. I feel better. I don't really, and I don't mean this in a callous way, like I don't care. Like I did it for me because it makes me feel better.
Yes.
Like it's like when you have to burp, like it has to come out. And I thought, well, what's it good sitting in my hard drive? Even if one person likes it, understands it, thinks differently now after listening to it.
Right. Cool. And the thing is that when you get up on those higher vibration frequencies, you're able to get to that level, right? Of saying, I don't care what other people think. I'm doing this to make me happy.
Right.
A lot of people have a hard time understanding that.
I'm one of my favorites from 12 Steps is what other people think and say about me is none of my business. Like, why does it matter? It doesn't matter.
Right.
I mean, does it matter if you put your best foot forward or not? That's a separate issue. That's not necessarily an ego thing. That's being the best version of yourself in every given moment, like right now, without it being premeditated or because you want something back in return. It just is, and how you roll and how you flow, and you're there in the moment with people. Like, I just recently adopted a little kitty. I was telling Grizzly before, that's what the party called for. Like, we help each other.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I have my dog. He's been with me for 12 years. His birthday is coming up. He's going to be 12 years old in like 2 weeks. But, that guy, he's been my ride or die. He's with me for everything. And I love having him on my journey because our animals, they have their own spirits, right? And they teach us lessons within themselves. So I totally get it. I did want to go through a couple of the little comments over here and just hit on what other people were saying. Paranormal Pixie said it removes their feelings of control over others. Let's see. We've got Little Twisted said that people are only awakening to certain things. That's so true. And that's why we have to have people with open minds out here that have voices, making sure that everybody understands the totality of it, right? Not just the minuscule details that they want to focus on.
Right, because it makes them feel better, or because they don't want to look at something because it makes them uncomfortable. Well, usually growth doesn't feel good. It's not when you're sitting back going, hey, life is great. You're doing your growth. Like,
Exactly.
You arrive, there's another place to go. Like, don't get deluded that nothing's changing. The only thing that is for sure is that things are gonna switch up. Like, because that's
exactly
what it does.
You're actually hitting on something that I hit on last night on the podcast that I actually have with another person, Michael. We were talking about how change is about the only consistent that you can expect in life, right? Everything is always going to change, always. And if you don't see changes happening, then you're doing something wrong, honestly.
Well, that's what you have to rely on. Your how do I think in this moment to respond to whatever's going on as coherently as possible? And I think that that's where we've also been taught that our brains are like our brains process thought from mind, but your thoughts I don't think are in your brain. They're processed by your brain. If you can't point to your mind, I can't point to my mind. They say there's an energy field around your body. Well, I think that's where the thoughts are. And I think you pull them from wherever, and the ones that you think are at the right frequency come through,
Right.
I have some of my best epiphanies while the water's running and I'm doing dishes and my body's whatever. But honestly, the heart is the most prolific, and it's your control system.
Right.
It's your
And a lot
guidance system. And if your heart's
exactly.
not happy and you're not heart coherent, you're not going to be brain coherent or think in the moment.
And
So it's a dance.
yes, ma'am. A lot of people don't realize that the heart is like our energetic gateway, right? The heart has
Eric, I'm sorry. I just
no, you're fine.
That's my buddy right there. That's Eric.
Look, Eric gets us with all the crazy comments on every single platform.
Right, and it's funny. It's funny.
I love him so much.
My thoughts are never coherent. That's what Eric always says. Yeah.
But, a lot of people don't realize that the heart is the energetic gateway, right? And if we don't have our heart aligned with our brain, then we're not going to have that totality that I was talking about.
The day they start teaching meditation K through 12 and it's mandatory.
Yes.
The day things turn around. The day they start teaching about energy and vibration and frequency as a mandatory class within, if I were back at the Rudolf Steiner School, I would hope that Rudolf Steiner 2024 would start incorporating the quantum reality into their teaching. Like we used to have these blocks in the morning, because that's when you do your best thinking. So you get to school at 8, whatever it is, the day starts, you start with a positive, affirmatory prose of some kind. You do it every day. You sit down and you have your main block 4 weeks in the morning from 8 whatever to 10:45. Then you go to recess. Then you come back. Then you have 2 little 45-minute whatever 3 times a week. It's a continuation of the morning. 2 times a week. That happens in the afternoon, and the rest of it is music, eurythmy, French, German. This is like first grade, second grade.
Right.
There's art, all of it. And then, but it's those block in the morning and 6 weeks of not switching the subject every day, every 5 seconds, no attention span. It forces you. And my mom said it teaches you how to think. And she's right, because I was at Le Lycée Français before that, which is 2 + 2 is 4. That's like little robots come out of that. Super intellectual, super materialist, but not with any reverence for the earth or your relationship to it.
Right.
I don't know. It's all very...
And, I hear you talking about this, and when I was looking into what I wanted to talk to you about, I saw that you have look, I know my audience is kind of crazy sometimes. You got to forgive them.
Oh, no,
in case you all forgot. No,
right,
you're
yeah.
Look,
I stopped doing that.
Amy said the cops are out, but y'all forget there's a cop sitting right below me.
It's the thought police. They're after Eric because he's not thinking coherent.
Yeah. But when I was doing my research on you, I saw that you have family lineage of people who have been actors, actresses, dancers,
on the one
musicians. It's amazing. I feel like when you were born, you were probably had your life pre-planned already by family saying, hey, well, this is what we do, and this is kind of the route that you're going to go. Am I correct in that?
No, not really. My mom refused to be a stage mother. She wasn't helping me. So she wasn't any use. My dad died when I was 5. So any of his connections were I don't know, in the dubbing world, it wasn't on camera stuff. So it was never mainstream. It was always adjacent, mainstream adjacent. I don't I mean, but I do come from a family, like my father's mom was making ridiculous amounts of money for a 4-day-a-week gig down in like Coney Island or whatever. She was dancing vaudeville. She used to headline above Sarah Bernhardt. Sandra, I'm in the 1990s. No, but Sarah Bernhardt, the English vaudevillian lady, was the only one who got billing above my family ever. Like it was, they were major.
Right.
Major.
Yeah, and that's what I saw.
Right.
And I know a lot of people, when they come from that, like it's expected of them. That's why I was wondering if that's kind of how you felt.
Well, it's weird, because the vaudevillians actually, like my grandma's generation, were working 360 days a year. They would come home and they would have the scrapbooks, so grandma would take care of the kids. The parents were out dancing because they were famous and they had to do that. So when they came home, like these kids were like, I don't even know you. You don't mother me. Grandma's mother, my mom. And there was a lot of resentment from a lot of vaudevillians' families. So a lot of these historical treasures were burned by the family or just left to go sour. Like, I don't know. There's just a lot of weird vibes that come from there, like wanting to work more than you want to be with your family kind of stuff. And then, I don't know. So there's that DNA healing that goes back. When I think to my career, I definitely like had a nanny to watch the kids so that I could go out and have auditions so that I could and it made me crazy. It made me anxious, honestly.
As you talk about your career, what was the highlight for you? Like, what was the part that made you the most happy about it?
I think I like doing Girlfriend from Hell the best, I have to say. It was the most fun. I think the one I learned from the most is probably Baby It's You with John Sayles, because that was my first feature film and a co-star. Yeah, and he's great. I love John. I hope before I take my last breath I get to work in acting again. But if I'm not supposed to, then maybe I'm just not supposed to.
Right. Well, I mean, I know you've taken a couple of years off, right? I think the last time you did anything was in like 2018 is what I saw.
Yeah. I took some time off to take care of my mom. She had Parkinson's, so I chose to come back here, and like, honestly, it probably is what gave me the luxury of the linear time plus the pandemic to just ignore mainstream and just check out, and check into Gaia Network and watch other stuff, and then start listening to Bruce Lipton, and then start my Joe Dispenza meditations. And people talk about a Kundalini awakening. Like, I don't know, technically I think I probably did the breathing technique correctly and made the cilia in my pineal gland vibrate. And when I let go and just went whatever, it squirted whatever the land of milk and honey. It's not a physical place. I'm telling you, it's when your brain squirts and then you shoot down like I was in this tunnel of color. Like, it's just hard to explain.
Yeah. When we've been through it, though, we understand exactly what you're talking about. And that's one of those things that this starts conversations, right? Like, you're sitting here saying, this is my experience. And people are like, hold on, wait, I've never had that. How do I get that?
They want to dismiss it, So then that's back to why have I been posting all that stuff? Because it's easier to be a parrot sometimes than it is to speak your own mind, because people don't want to hear it because they're not ready to hear it. So maybe it's just easier to spread Jack's messages because they're already there and he's already got 8 million people listening. So maybe somebody else will, but it's not like I post anything that I don't actually feel. Like, sometimes I'll see how these things are worded, and if there were just one word changed, I would post it. But then I feel like it promotes taking sides, and I'm not about sides. I'm about like the whole thing existing, and just leave it be and stop judging it, because that's ego shit. And just go back to, we're all the one thing we all have in common is consciousness.
Yep.
And if we can just all agree on that, and then if we could understand how consciousness functions, which would be having to acknowledge the quantum.
Yes.
And if we could incorporate that little by little by little in the whole collective, the whole species, the whole humankind.
Yes.
Like, I feel like I never get like this. I feel like we would stop killing each other and
Yeah.
stop the nonsense. It's just so thick, and it's it's necessary to show people, but people have to be willing to look at it and then want to be the guy that does something about it, instead of walking by that piece of gum wrapper on the street and going, people litter. It's like, well, I saw it. Who cares?
Pick it up.
Pick it the fuck up, man.
Yeah.
What are you doing with the knowledge? It's all well and good to know all this stuff. What are you doing with it? So I'd rather do nothing than not purposefully do something with the knowledge that I've remembered in the time that I've been here, since I decided to get off the merry-go-round I call my life. Liane's a wife, Liane's a mom, Liane's a manager, Liane's a parrot, a bird lady, like whatever names. I'm consciousness.
Yes.
I'm consciousness, and I'm in a material place and the other place at the same time. There's no one or the other. I'm all in, man. We're all in. And as soon as people realize that and can deal with it, it'll help a little bit. Like, I feel like it's going to take another couple 100 years to integrate, honestly.
Well, but and I think that's what the Great Awakening is for, right? Is to try to help bring people to this level. And I just wanted to go through some of these comments here because, they're talking to you, right? So Denise said, that's how I met Liane, is during the pandemic. Paranormal Pixie said, we do understand here. And I can guarantee that the majority of us in chat all have strong abilities. And when you begin to describe it, we see it, feel it, hear it, and know it. And I completely agree with you, Pixie. I want to say everybody in here has some sort of ability. I've seen it from each of you as I've, grown into the Outlaw family. And that's why I love having guests like you, Liane, on the show, because we find people who feel so lost sometimes, or we find people who feel like they know exactly what is meant to be there, but they don't know how to get the message out. And we bring you to this family.
Between the manifestation of that and closing the gap. That would be what my husband describes sometimes as being willing to go down that dark tunnel where you don't know what's going to come screaming out at you from which way, but you got to get from here to there, closing the gap,
exactly.
So it's okay. I don't think it's dark times, and I'm not crying because I'm being pessimistic or low-vibing it. I think about Bruce Lipton and what he says at almost all of his talks. I hope, like, the little Palestinian kids and the Israeli kids, like, they see their parents trying to kill each other. That's the only reason they're doing it, because monkey see, monkey do,
Right.
But left the fuck alone. It's kids playing in a playground.
Right.
Why would they pick up a gun and hurt each other like in 20 years? Why would you do that?
Exactly.
That's not heart coherence. That's nonsense that's been bred into us,
trained into our heads. Yes.
And then that's it. Like, whatever's in your head, that's what's going to come out of your garbage in, garbage out, love in, love out.
Yes. So we have some other people in the comments. Denise said, exactly, we need more love. And Tess said, I'm so glad I tuned in. The hive mind needs to create world peace. These are things like Denise said, it does make me want to cry. And our audience is sitting here saying that they agree. Lori says, it's frustrating to observe that humankind evolves at a glacial pace. Oh man, that's so true.
Right. Plus, our generation, I don't know how old you are. I just turned 59. So and then being an only child, and then being smart. And then my dad died, and then I would get what I wanted because I'm a great manifester. But as a child, I was a very pesky, persistent child.
Right.
Right. So, right. And you want it to happen faster so that you can whatever, like feel the relief, experience something different before you take your last breath,
Yes.
But that starts in my bubble. Like in my bubble, everything's good. I've got, my old kitty and my parrots and I, we're very safe. We're happy. We're comfortable. We have enough food. Like my basics are covered. I'm grateful to wake up in the morning and have another day, and try not to get on my own shit for not finishing a song or releasing it tomorrow, or not working on my website for 4 weeks at a time because I don't feel like it, because I don't know what that's
But
about. That goes
all
back
of
to
us,
my journey.
all of us go through that. And I mean, I'm speaking from personal experience. I'm one of those people that as a child, I was so intelligent. I was above the others that I was in school with. And I feel like you and I relate on that. And as I was growing through it, I became bored with it. And it was lackluster for me. And I see as I'm helping people through their awakenings that I want to say every single person that I've helped through it goes through the same experience. Like they don't fit in school. They feel like they're too smart for what they're being taught. They get bored. People pick on them. They get bullied. When they get into their teenage years, everything's really awkward for them. As an adult, they have a hard time finding that clique or that group that they can fit into because they're just different, right? And that's one of the
They
things.
don't want, because I think it's because they're resisting the indoctrination, because it's not the right vibe and they're not doing that. So subconsciously there's something protecting them. Their higher self is protecting them. In my experience, like that's the only thing I can conclude.
All of us have guides, and you're right. Those guides do protect us. Some of us are very, very protected and have gone through hell on earth and come out of it still living and breathing and able to give people guidance on the other side of it, right? And I feel like this kind of goes into, I'm going to pop this
right, and
comment up
also
here
get
real
this,
quick.
and also be able to receive guidance, because like being a good receiver, my cousin Hildy Gottlieb, she wrote a really nice piece today. And like, how do you receive? Are you a graceful receiver? I mean, it makes people really happy to give, but when you receive, do you say no thank you? Does it make you feel awkward? Are you grateful? Do you feel like you owe that person back at some level now because they gave you something? Is there some kind of leery, like what's going on? Where does that happen? In the pit of your stomach? And that's as a result of all the rapid fire, what I just said, that goes on in America? Like, people, is it programming? Is that real? In a nanosecond, like there needs to be an intervention, because when they say that the environment informs the genes, which then it receives the message and acts accordingly, because that's what atoms do. They collapse into whatever the intention.
Right. The neurons, electrons, everything's got the synapses of it.
It's basic. It's basic. If I can understand it, anybody can understand it. But that's just where I get frustrated, I guess, is the basic science that needs to be incorporated and not thought twice about. It needs to be just on autopilot, as Kamala or Trump taking sides and wasting all kinds of time, because neither of them are in charge. Somebody's in charge of them. So who's that? What's the end game? Nobody's asking questions. They're all arguing over which puppet they want to put in. Like, it's so dumb.
This actually goes with the comment that I had just pulled up. Little Twisted said, if people would turn off the mainstream news, get out of their phone and go visit your neighbors, you will find that there is more harmony than you're being told. And you're right with what you're saying. Like, everybody wants to be put into a category. Everybody wants to see everything put into a box, right? And we have to stop taking things out of the box.
Stop. I said a long time, if people would stop using adjectives to describe things, the human being, not the black man.
Right.
One human being did XYZ to another human being today at this place at this time, and two human beings who are designated to take care of the problem by working out whatever their job is. Like, you know, I don't know. Just,
you know, we just had like 4 people in the comments say, Liane, you're describing me right now. Christina, you're describing me right now. Like, so many people resonate with what we talk about here. And this is why I do what I do every week on my podcasts and on my, you know, because I want,
tired of it, people will actually go figure out what to do with the information instead of sitting here feeling like this. What are we doing with it? Like, how does a grassroots movement, like, how do we all do CE5s? Do we talk to the non-human? I mean, why human? The other beings that live in all of the multiple dimensions that exist in the same space we exist. Like, at what point do you make it we're all one thing in a billion different colors, shapes, sizes? Here comes another thing in a different size that makes different noises.
Hello, kitty.
Hello, kitty. Hi, kitty. Mr. Nosy Parker the Third.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. My ward. My fine ward. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm just reading. Hello, Grandmaster. Thank you for coming to another one of my podcasts. I appreciate having you here so much. Twisted said, this is why I hate social media so much. Dread brings your vibration down. And yes, love, you are so right. And I know because Twisted is, she's one of our very dedicated family members. She's here for almost everything. And she follows us on all of the other socials as well. She knows that here we try to make sure we raise vibrations and help people to understand how to be on the vibration levels that we are already on. Oh, Denise said, where are your parrots?
They're in jail in the other room.
Jail?
They're getting programmed with SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
Oh, wait, what's crazy is one of them started doing.
Uh-oh.
Well, but she ends it with do 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 do. I'm like, wait, you now smash SpongeBob and Close Encounters?
Counters, yes.
So
I know what I'm going to end the show with now.
Guys.
We're going to end the show with Close Encounters.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's like these under the crypto terrestrials that live under the ocean, these cultures, like, how do people just blatantly deny that? And it's been longer.
You're right.
Us skin ugly, stinky surface dweller, earth polluting consumer, yucky things.
Right. Lorna said Amy's getting a pet. She's talking about the parrots in parrot jail. Oh,
Parrot jail.
I used to have a parrot, and she would whistle the Andy Griffith tune.
They've mangled that one too, and then they also, it's one in particular, Licorice. I think she's dyslexic. Honestly, I think if a parrot can be dyslexic, I think she is. She's like audio dyslexic because she used to go, "Say, can you see?" Oh, and I'd be like, "Oh, say, can you see?" Oh, what? Right? And then she would do Andy Griffith. She'd go, "Hello," and end it with "hello." So I don't know if, like, a couple times when I was trying to teach her the Andy Griffith, the phone rang and I answered it, and that's just what.
Right.
No idea what's going on in that bird's brain. She's
smart. That on TikTok.
Right.
She's smart.
My parents used to have an eclectus, and he
what the hell is that?
I'll have to show you a picture of them. They're like,
cool.
The males are green and they have a candy corn beak. And then the females have a black beak, but they're red. Like, it's a very vibrant red with a dark violet under, on the bottom of them.
Yeah. They're beautiful.
So my parents actually used to breed parrots. Like, my mom had like 28 different parrots at one time. They have like a whole birdhouse outside.
Sound like my house.
But yeah, so they had this eclectus. It was the inside pet, and he was a gay bird. Like literally, if a female came in the house, if a female came in the house, he would bite us, like literally try to take a limb off. But if a male came in the house, he would go up to it and start doing things that birds aren't supposed to do to humans. So yeah,
Sounds like my
quite
Kait. She's a little psycho. She hates women. She attacks all women. And if she happens to get on a man's shoulder, like I'm the only one she'll put up with whom she will put. I hear my mom. Stop saying sentences and ending it with prepositions. Go away. Go away. Tell people talk now. God.
Oh, that's amazing. Hey, at least you get to have her with you, right?
I do. Well, and I do recognize because like there's a certain cadence to the way they spoke when they had a body, and there's vocabulary that you just don't use that comes in your head. Example, as far as I know, he's okay, so we're good. But on August 6th, somebody I know, I'll just say somebody I know, had a cardiac event. And I only found out
I'm
about
sorry for laughing. The comment is too funny. Little Twisted said, I'd like to see Grizz in a chicken suit.
You know, Halloween's coming, and we could start a GoFundMe to get a good chicken suit rental going.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Why do I feel like your audience would throw down for that kind of nonsense?
Oh, they would. They totally
Eric,
would.
like,
Twisted, are you throwing in for this?
Unbelievable.
Here comes the GoFundMe. And like, what category would you even put
know
that?
what's
like,
funny?
Mandatory nonsense for the
watch this.
For the relief
This is funny.
of
Watch this.
real reality. Like, I don't know. It's like it's a service
actually
to
watch
humanity.
this. Bam! Look at that. GoFundMe right there.
Oh my God. Right? Like, and then we put him in a chicken suit, and they say like it's to raise the vibration of humanity by making everybody laugh at something and get their attention off the mainstream. Grizzly in a chicken suit.
Little Twisted said, heck yeah, she's throwing down for that one. And Paranormal Pixie said, yes, the chicken suit.
Maybe this is how we make money finally. I don't know.
This is what we do.
Has it
we
come
haven't
to
talked
this?
in a while. And Liane,
is this how we manifest our millions?
Yes, it is.
My idea. How much do I get? Like, there's my 3D self piping in.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Amy. Shut the front door. That's right.
Why? Open it. I welcome all the millions in my front door and my back door.
That's right. Absolutely.
Any door that's appropriate. I did. I started meditating for opportunities the other day instead of being so specific, like a little more general. And then my friend downstairs, the one whose cat I adopted.
Oh,
said,
look.
Chicken soup on $5.
Do you want to pay my what? You just got, oh no. Are you serious? Oh, wow.
See what you did, Liane. Oh, shut the front
well,
door.
okay. So I think 10% is fair. Like, this is
absolutely.
I was,
right. And then we can rent you out for parties, and I'll just take 10%.
Yes.
You keep the cash.
Wait a minute. So let me tell you what happened.
Wait, what? How did I end up working for Liane? What just happened?
I know, right?
It's Christmas, freaking Christmas.
Oh my God.
Wait,
Grizzly, my daughters love you for Halloween.
Turducken. No, we're not doing turduckens without the chicken.
Yeah. Did you see that girl on TikTok? Yeah. That finally didn't know what that was, and she saw it inside that turkey and about passed out.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Little Twisted said it's on like Donkey Kong.
Oh God.
That's his next character. That'll be next year.
Yeah, for sure.
This year
I promise you, my daughter is going to come up with some amazing characters for her. Like her favorite show.
We can have their favorite caption. If, whoever wins the caption contest gets, I don't know, dinner with Grizzly.
Hey.
Start with the tears. I'm thinking, come on, man. Marketing. Yes. What are you willing to give up? Over here.
Yeah.
Go to Chick-fil-A and do a dance in front of Chick-fil-A and then run away.
Oh, Lord.
I'll probably get shot. Or probably get hit.
Yeah,
some
in this day and age, you
probably
would get, like, if you did it in New York, you'd get arrested because you're like wearing a mask and scaring people.
Right? Right.
You're not supposed to laugh at your own material, Liane. Stop that. Oh my God.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Bill Maher does it.
So my daughter is 4 and her favorite show is Frozen. Somehow I have a feeling I'm going to see Grizzly dressed up as Sven here in the next
Sven.
No, he needs
year or
to
two.
let it go. No.
Let it go.
No.
Oh, are we going to get you in an Elsa dress?
What? No, stop. What? You're all bad.
No, well, yeah,
You're
that
all
would
bad.
be all the rage. That would start all kinds of conversations, and then he wouldn't be allowed
Yes,
in
it would.
elementary school because people would get
So let me tell you what
Stop
happened to
showing my
me.
kids Elsa with a beard. Stop it.
So let me tell you what happened to me,
What
Liane.
we've
I was
come to,
working.
we're just-
I was working off duty at a movie theater, right? And the manager comes up and he's like, "Grizzly, you go down to 13. Everybody's hollering and screaming." So I open up the door, I go in there, and they're screaming and hollering. I'm like, "What the hell is going on?"
Wait, let me get
So
my
I walk
chicken
down.
suit. I'll be right back. He
No,
said that,
it's
right?
worse than that. So I go in front of the middle of the theater, and all the women are screaming. Guess what movie
Was
was
Justin
playing?
Bieber there?
No, guess what movie
No,
was playing?
there was a movie on the screen. What movie do you think it was? That a cop came in and they all were screaming and hollering. I'm going with Magic Mike on this one.
It was Magic Mike. I about ate crow. Yes, they got money out. Women were throwing popcorn. It was awful. It was awful.
It's like the Rocky Horror Picture Show reboot where people are actually throwing shit at the screen. Like, was there the in front of the screen replaying of the whole thing where teenagers were dressing up as Magic? No, that would have been inappropriate. Then they would have actually have tipped him, and then it would have been like eight. I don't know. Then the cops really would have gotten pissed off.
Grizzly, I agree with
Chippendales. You and your chicken, get out of here.
Grizzly, I agree with Little Twisted. You need to get a Bigfoot t-shirt made with Bigfoot holding the squeaky chicken. We need that. We need that merch.
Can you imagine if some chick in a bikini and her nickname is Jaws? Like, you don't want to ask why.
Oh Lord.
What was that? Like, so, you know, like the hashtag riding the frequency, it's like there's one of those things that just stopped cold. Like I have too many YouTube channels. I have Lady Liane or the Lady Liane. I don't even know what it is. Like that's where my music videos are up. Like all of my light language is up on riding the frequency and my QHHT regressions that I was not bashful about sharing with the world, thinking I was helping, and then like 100 people give a shit. So okay, that's good for those 100 people.
When you write your music, do you ever use any of the vibration frequency codes in your music, like maybe love vibration or the love frequency or the God frequency or anything like that?
Not intentionally, but I definitely like. Kitty had a little medical episode 2 days ago from which he bounced back, but I definitely yesterday sat in the sunlight, like, and he was sort of like against the inside of my left thigh. So it was like half crisscross applesauce, you know, and I was holding my Vogel crystal and I was just doing some breathing and I was, you know, imagining him and being very grateful in advance for his bounce back. And, you know, like, it's really weird. Like, I'm not religious, like, and I'm thinking back into it, but like, I definitely, and I know this sounds like, so like, oh, ew, now she's talking that too. But yeah, I felt like Christ consciousness and I saw white light and I felt it and I felt very grounded. And I made sure to pay attention to that because it's not anything that I've ever really seen specific in that word. Those words weren't, you know, but Marcel Vogel as an afterthought. But anyway, so I saw Kitty like be okay. Mm-hmm. And then I took a big 3 deep breaths and I did, you know, with your nose, like I don't want to do it now because God only knows what'll come out. We don't do that on YouTube. But yeah, so the Kitty's a lot better today. Like, and I didn't give him any science diet packet food. Like I defrosted one of my filet mignons and I like sliced it real thin and I cooked it with some egg white and some water with no condiments and I cut it up real tiny because he's got no teeth. But I fed him that and I'm trying to give him like a taurine high diet for a couple of days just to boost his cardio. What I don't know what happened.
Right.
Like I would, yeah. So like it's not
I
that. So
I know Grizzly is probably looking it up right now, but Paranormal Pixie asked, "Do you have her light language channeling?" Do you know what?
It's in the comments.
Yeah, I used to do that every morning and on camera. Like I still do it with my birds. Just I didn't stop doing it. I just stopped doing it every morning because I don't even know why. Like maybe I do, but I don't know if I want to say anything. Like I allowed myself to get rocked back into not necessarily ego stuff, but fear stuff a little bit, getting attention from people that I didn't really want. But that I somehow managed to ask for subconsciously, like, so I had to get right with myself again. And after 4 years of not catching COVID, somehow I managed to contract that in February.
Oh, wow.
Like, and that was 2 weeks of weirdness, like weird dreams.
Yeah.
Man. Like COVID. The weird dreams. It was weird. Like it was just weird.
The pandemic stuff, I got that in 2022, and I got it so bad that I actually was hospitalized and put in an ICU for 11 days. And let me tell you, you're right. The dreams are very lucid and very, I'm going to go with off the wall. Like there's,
see, my mistake was I started watching mainstream TV, like right before I got it. I buckled and I was watching this, this TV series with Donald Sutherland, who was playing I mean it's based on a true story, like really super millionaire family, grandson sort of orchestrates his own kidnapping and it goes south, like, and his ear gets cut off, and Donald Sutherland's just this total prick who doesn't care about anything but money. And so when I was having the dreams, the only reason I'm saying that is like, here's, the black screen. And instead of seeing geometry like I normally see, here comes Donald's face. Like I'm going, oh, fuck no. Like, oh, open your eyes. But something very strange also happened besides thinking I had fallen asleep and waking up thinking, oh, thank God I finally fell asleep, and looking at the clock and going, oh my God, it's been 7 minutes. What? Like, what is happening? Right? It was just Twilight Zone disease. There's like a peephole. I can't explain it. Like there's a peephole, and through the peephole, I'm seeing like the woods. Like, but I was awake. I wasn't asleep. It was that half weird. Like I have a little TV that I'm seeing stuff and looking into a completely different place. It jiggled something.
You're right.
But
I do have a question. I remember that you made that song, "The Aliens Are Here." You remember that when you made it?
What?
Can I play that?
I do. The video or the song?
Both.
There's an official music video on YouTube. It's kind of fun.
I got it. Yeah, can I play it?
Okay. Yeah, you want to share your screen and do that? Like
this
is how
ladies and
when I
gentlemen,
get frustrated. This is what happens when I get frustrated. Like the more upset I get, the funnier I get. When I wrote this, like I almost didn't because it sounded so stupid in my head, and then literally, not a voice in my head, but like this thought came in: just stop what you're doing, go sit down at your computer, and just do it. And I thought, oh my God, okay.
That was your spirit guides telling you what to do.
But it came spitting right through me, it's anyway. So yeah. Go ahead.
And how did you make this? What device did you use?
Welcome to New York. I used here. Let me show you. I can show you.
And ladies and gentlemen, I actually shared the link.
32-inch screen here. I've got a 32-inch screen here. And then I've got a Mac Studio down there and a couple hard drives. And I've got a little Universal Audio, an Apollo Twin. I think it is made by Universal Audio. It's a preamp here that I can plug the mic And I got myself a really nice mic when I still had a couple discretionary fund for this kind of stuff. It's a slate mic. So I use that now. When I got myself some open back earphones and I can go. I'm like really sorry. One of my closets is weird, so I had to store stuff in here, my linen closet. But a lot of times, and I can still do it because now in here it's a very dead space. I don't know if you can hear the difference in the
Yeah.
sound.
Yes.
Totally different.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
Totally different.
theoretically, I could probably run a podcast out of my closet.
Yeah. So I remember, ladies and gentlemen, she was like, "Hey, check this out. Tell me what you think." I just put this together. I was like, "What the hell?" I thought it was really
one
good.
of those things that like it came through so fast, and it was a couple of sessions, and it was minimal. Like I didn't like this other song I have that I really need to release because somebody's going to come out with some information, and I'm going to be really annoyed that I didn't release the song because it's in the lyrics, and I've been hearing it in my head for a minute, which sounds like a crazy person. But the chorus is she ran away with the moon while the lunatics kept dancing. Yeah. I don't know what that's about, but like I feel like based on what people are saying about the moon, some people that it hasn't always been there necessarily, and that there's a lot we don't know about it. And there's a series called For All Mankind on Apple TV that I highly recommend because I feel like it's slow drip so that the public isn't completely thrown on their asses when if the truth ever comes out of like who we are and where we're from and what's gone on and whatever.
And this is called The Aliens Are Here. There we go. What happened?
Here, I'm gonna help you out, Grace.
I'm in love with possibility. Life is quite the mystery. I believe the unknown is my friend. I'm in awe of humanity. We're not such a mystery. The story simply can't come to an end. Again? Dear God. Here, here, here. The aliens are here. It could be fake invasion time, says Dr. Stephen Greer. Don't freak out, don't scream or shout, have no fear. The aliens are here. Pass the popcorn, do a dance, 'cause it could be your last chance to rip a bong hit, chug a beer, 'cause the aliens are here. There's multi and ultra and interdimensional when quantum mechanics becomes the conventional way to explain linear time. Life in 3D could be sublime. As I gaze into the firmament, my eyes see anomalies. I believe that someone's gazing back. Consciousness and our junk DNA, it's really not conspiracy. I believe in cosmic family. I really do. build a rocket with David Dare and sail the atmosphere. Step into my time machine. Come and hang out with James Dean. Here, 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 the aliens are here. It could be fake invasion time, says Dr. Stephen Greer. Don't freak out, don't scream or shout, have no fear. The aliens are here. Don't freak out, don't scream or shout, have no fear. The aliens are here.
Ah, see, I thought that was fantastic.
It's so silly.
Yeah,
Leanne,
I thought it was fantastic.
our guests are talking about how much they love your song and how much they love you. Unfortunately, I only get to spend an hour with you today. So can you please tell my lovely family how they can find you?
Well, you can find me on Insta, the Lady Liane. Like, I've been trying to figure out, literally, I know we're not a collective of 5,000 or 10,000, even better. Like, I thought 8 billion people can go to my record label, Girubi, Girubi. It's Girard and Rubinstein smashed together, girubirecords.com. I'm releasing music that I own. And if I could just figure out how to get 5,000 sales of a $5 EP to happen, I could pay my rent. Like, I'm the one who needs to go fund me. Like, but
Yeah,
I have shit
right.
that I want to
Absolutely.
sell. It's not just because I want handouts. Like, so I've got 50s music on the website. I've got a Spotify account for Paulette Girard, my mom, a Spotify account for Lady Liane. I think there's, like, you can help support the artist or whatever if you want to donate
Right.
money to the artist. I think that option is available. And yeah, so I'll just keep cleaning my house and making more music, and come find me on Insta and watch me parrot Jack Cornfield and Eckhart Tolle, because maybe people will listen to them, like, or go watch my video like a million times. I don't know. Something.
Yeah, absolutely. I got the links out there, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure and subscribe to her and follow and like them. And Lady Liane, I greatly appreciate it. And we're not going to become strangers again. So you got my phone number and everything. And also,
Yes.
this ending that we're going to play is for you. Ready for it?
Uh-oh. I should go get my parrot.
So,
Why do I need to get my parrot?
all right, ladies and gentlemen, from coast to coast around the world, this ending is for you, Lady Liane. Take care.